What does it say about this president that his own press secretary says she cannot guarantee that there isn't a tape of Donald Trump using the N-word?
Can you stand at the podium and guarantee the American people they'll never hear Donald Trump utter the N-word on a recording in any context?
I can't guarantee anything.
So what does it say that the smarter move is for the president's spokesperson to leave open the possibility that such a tape exists rather than to deny it and say, of course, there is no such tape. That's impossible. What appears members of the Trump campaign took rumors about the existence of such a tape allegedly recorded while Trump was working on The Apprentice, so seriously that they questioned then candidate Trump about it. Their conversation secretly recorded by former Trump aide Omarosa Manigault Newman.
I'm trying to find out at least what context it was used in to help us maybe try to figure out a way to spin it.
I said, well, sir, can you think of any time that this might have happened? And he said no.
Well, that's not true.
He goes, how do you think I should handle it? And I told him exactly what you just said, Omarosa, which is, well, it depends on what scenario you're talking about. And he said, well, why don't you just go ahead and put it to bed? I don't know what the scandal is.
No, he said it. He's embarrassed.
And in true Trump fashion, the President of the United States went on to attack Omarosa, tweeting, quote, when you give a crazed, crying lowlife a break and give her a job at the White House, I guess it just didn't work out. Good work by General Kelly for quickly firing that dog. Now listen, Omarosa has done some things that are really inexcusable, and there are serious questions about her credibility, let's be honest. But the President of the United States calling a black woman a dog is really, once again, beneath the office. This is President Trump, and that's the kind of language he uses. It would be rational to think that if this purported tape of Trump using the N-word exists, and there is no proof that it does, but if it did, it would be a bombshell, right? Right? It would have to be. Or would it? What if I told you that I have a tape of Donald Trump calling Mexicans criminals and rapists?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
What if I told you that I have a secretly recorded tape of him bragging about sexually assaulting women?
I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
What if I told you I have a tape of him mocking a disabled person?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
And what if I told you I have a tape of him calling African American athletes, and I'm quoting here, sons of bitches?
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
What if I told you I have a tape of him encouraging violence by his supporters?
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees, I promise.
And what if I told you I had a tape of him calling white supremacists who killed a young woman in Charlottesville very fine people?
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did.
I wish I could say that it would make a difference if, on top of all of that, there ever did turn out to be a tape of the president using the N-word. That Americans would never tolerate language like that from a candidate or from a president. But maybe the truth would be very different. Maybe it wouldn't change anything. Why would that tape be the bridge too far? We already know that this president seems immune from even the broadest standards of decency we've had in common in the past. Another tape wouldn't change anything. Think about it. Am I wrong? I want to bring in now CNN political commentator David Swerdlick, CNN legal analyst Laura Coates, and CNN presidential historian Douglas Brinkley. Good evening.
Hey, Don.
I don't think I'm wrong, David.
No, Don, you're not wrong. Look, today in the press briefing, White House press briefing room, and on the air all day, Trump surrogates and supporters ran this line down that, look, the dog insult toward Omarosa was just par for the course, that he's an equal opportunity insulter. He said the same thing to Mitt Romney when he said he choked like a dog. He said that this is just the president counterpunching. Here's the problem. We reached this point a long time ago, but especially now that we're a year and a half into his presidency, the president, because of all of his statements about women and about people of color, he is no longer entitled to the benefit of the doubt. You had him talk about Megyn Kelly, about Rosie O'Donnell, about Carly Fiorina in a debate. You had him talk about Katrina Perry from the Irish network RTE for people of color. You had him talk about Representative Frederica Wilson starting a fight with her. You had him calling Representative Maxine Waters low IQ several times, 3 or 4 times at least. He came after LeBron James. He came after you, Don. All of these comments suggest that he relishes insulting people of color and women in a particular way, even if he does it sometimes to other people. And because he has this long track record, all those videos you just played, you can't give him the benefit of the doubt at this point that it's the most innocuous interpretation when he says Omarosa is a dog.
Douglas, you're the historian here. What is the president's language and behavior doing to the office of the presidency? Are we witnessing the denigration of this office in real time?
We really are, Don. It's just horrific. You know, I was reflecting on past presidents today, and since the Civil War, we haven't had a president, at least since Andrew Johnson, right after the Civil War, that is a full-fledged bigot, and we have that with Donald Trump. There have been presidents that, you know, are slippery on the race issue, that didn't move the arc of justice forward, that took a step back. But Donald Trump has a career of just doing racially insensitive and hateful comments towards people. We have to realize he just doesn't like Mexican Americans. He doesn't like anybody of color. He doesn't like African Americans. He doesn't like LGBT people. He doesn't like Puerto Ricans and doesn't consider them America. Countries around the world where if you're not white, like Norway, he doesn't really want you here if you're from Haiti or Nigeria or elsewhere. This is there's no way around the fact that Donald Trump is a bigot and a racist. And the excuse is that the economy's doing pretty well, that, you know, that's just Trump being Trump. But I think, Don, it's starting to accumulate the number of instances. We could go on here for an hour with them. Right. And the midterm elections are coming, and we will see if the Republicans lose Congress, Democrats get a hold of it, they very well will move to impeach him, and he will go down in history on the bottom rung of presidents like James Buchanan or Warren Harding, and maybe even the worst president of all time. So I don't really feel he has oxygen in his tank when he's running at 40% approval rating when the economy is doing this well. But it stuns me, Don, that so many Republicans are timid. Where is George W. Bush to denounce the racism? Where are the Republicans last Friday who should have been defending John McCain, the great war hero, when Donald Trump wouldn't utter his name in a military service like that? The cowardness of Republicans right now is what shocks me, because Donald Trump's always been a charlatan who created, Trump University and other scams, puts his name on buildings that he didn't build. But it's the deficit in the Republican Party, the silence, that's really hurting the country right now.
Laura, I just think this bears repeating. The press secretary for the President of the United States cannot deny that there's possibly a tape of him saying the N-word. That is, to me, is unprecedented. And before you answer, I want to play this because Anderson and Aaron spoke with Lynn Patton and Katrina Pearson, the woman heard on that audio with Omarosa, talking about this alleged N-word tape. They say Omarosa kept bringing up the tape. Take a listen to this.
There were a lot of times that we talked about this tape because Omarosa was literally obsessed with it. She brought it up constantly. It's clear now that the reason why she did was because she was surreptitiously recording us.
Your viewers, I'm pretty sure, have run into an individual that is the complete epitome of annoying, to where you absolutely have to finally give in order to get on about your day. That happened a number of times because Omarosa is a bully.
So given what's Omarosa's motivation to get this on tape? And talk to me, what do you think about that? She can't deny that the president may be on tape somewhere saying the N-word.
Well, I'm shocked by a number of things. Number one, the condescension that came from the press secretary today, talking about him being an equal opportunity offender, as if you have universal bigotry towards a number of groups or all groups, somehow the American people should be placated by the fact that that person holds the highest office in the land. And the notion of someone being the epitome of annoying, well, the epitome of ignorance to me is that category of people who refuse to acknowledge what is really a foregone conclusion and to acknowledge the statements, the context of all the things that have been stated, and the history of the commentary towards all sorts of people. When it comes to Omarosa Newman, it's very evident that no human being should be treated in a way or called or described as subhuman. But as Doug can talk to you about the history of American presidents, there has been a concerted effort on behalf of many presidents dating back to the 1800s to try to make at least African Americans appear to be subhuman, to have their intellect be akin to that of a dog, and also to impose literacy tests and a whole sort of other things to talk about why we are an inferior race, none of which is true, but has been a tempting campaign rhetoric promise. Well, the confusing thing to me and the frustrating thing to me is that the president's numbers have not changed, although the rhetoric is very evident about what it displays about his character and who he believes to be inferior or superior or worthy of respect. And for that very reason, I am the epitome of annoyed, to use her words, as an American citizen, as a voter, as somebody who's a part of the informed electorate, that there are not more people who are unwilling to accept this new state of America that says we must placate and essentially just acquiesce to a standard that's really beneath us. And I thought we had progressed to a time, or perhaps I hoped that we had progressed to a time where America was a little bit closer to its aspirational ideals than it is today.